Okay, good afternoon. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Um, I did say yesterday that I was not going to do a live session, but it seems that the market is still open, so I decided why not. And also, for some reason, which I have no idea how I did that. I have no idea how I did that, and I don't know how I missed it, but I don't know. And this is something that has taught me um it has taught me a lesson. All right, it has taught me a lesson, which I am, you know, I'm aware of the lesson, but I've actually learned from from that lesson about life, right? And um, I want you to also learn from it because I learned something from it. Okay. So when we talk about programming, okay, it's so deep to the extent that it goes unnoticed. Things that you've been programmed with shapes your reality. It shapes your perception. It shapes the way you see. The way you've been programmed shapes the way you see. Okay. Now, why do I say that? Um, so for the last I'll say 10 is it 10? Yeah, 10 years that I've been in the market. I would say the first 3 years was just me randomly doing stuff. So let's say for the last from 2018. So you're looking at 7 years, 6 to 7 years, right? For that last 6 to 7 years, I've always experienced NFP on Friday. Okay, I've always experienced NFP on Friday, and I've always looked at it from the first week perspective, right? The first week of the month perspective. So that is a program, right? I've been programmed, or I've programmed myself to see the NFP to come in the first week of the month, and it's always on Friday. So I don't look for something else. So when I'm looking at the economic calendar, even though the information might be there, but my perception, the way have perceived it to be, it might blind me to see how maybe if any change has happened, my attention or my awareness will not go on it. Why am I bringing this one up? So yesterday I looked at the economic calendar, and the only thing that I paid attention to was Friday. Okay, because at the beginning of the week, I checked, and the only thing that I look for is Friday, and then Wednesday. I'm sorry, Tuesday, Wednesday, because most of the time Wednesday is where rate announcement will be, FOMC will be, and then CPI might also be on a Wednesday or Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, most of the time that's the days I look at the economic calendar. I don't actually look at Thursdays because there's not any high impact news that comes in on Thursday. So yesterday, when I looked at the economic calendar, I've seen the whole week. The whole week is there, but my attention went to Friday, and on Friday there's nothing there because today is a bank holiday, right? Today is July 4th, in the Independence Day for America, right? So I did not see. Then, as soon as we finish the live sessions, okay, as soon as we finish the live sessions, within, I think, few seconds, because I finished roughly 128, 129. As soon as I finished, then I saw a big move on dollar index and on euro. So I was confused as to what is happening. Where is this coming from? All right. Then I went and checked. I went on the economic calendar and then checked. And then when I checked, lo and behold, NFP was yesterday at 130. I'm like, how did I miss that? Like, it doesn't even make sense for me to miss it like that. And then it came and it dawned on me that the way I've programmed myself to be or to look at the economic calendar, I've always lived with the idea in the trading journey that NFP is always going to be on Friday and it's always going to be the first week. So if anything changes, I might not even become aware. And I did the same thing. I think the first week that we started this live session, first in January, the first week of January, I did the same thing where I was expecting NFP to be on that Friday, but it wasn't. It was actually the following week. All right. So I've actually learned a lesson to not, to not depend on the past. Okay. Do not depend on the past for the future or even for living in the now, but rather always live in the now. Don't look at the memories, because the memories can be false and shape a future for you that can be different. Okay, so for example, something happened to you in the past and you associate that memory to something that is happening to you now. And that can be a fallacy, because what is happening to you now is unique. Every moment in life is unique. Every single moment in life is unique. I know this, but yesterday has really brought it to my attention. It has brought it to my awareness so much that I need to up my game on living in the now. Okay, it has upped my game of living in the now. So this is just a words of encouragement, not just for myself because I've learned yesterday, but I also want to share it with you so that you can also learn something from it. Don't live in the past, live in the now. Whatever you want to do, forget the past. The past is gone, it's never coming. Live in the now, and then based on what you want to achieve in the future, start working on it today. Start working on it now, and that will shape your future. So that is my little words of wisdom for you this morning. Okay, so let's look at the dollar index now. Because of how the NFP moved price, it actually changed my expectation. Okay, they went through the fair value gap that formed in New York session and then created one down here, and that is what price has retraced back to in London, and then we are seeing a rejection from there. So I think there's a probability we might be coming up today into this volume imbalance, and then if we can close like this week, because the week is almost done, if we can close like this week, this is the previous week low. All right, so if you go on to the weekly, this will start showing a potential reversal. Okay, it will start showing a potential reversal. So based on how we're going to close today will give us a rough idea on how next week is going to trade. It looks like it's like turning around. Okay, so from the daily, we've actually closed to that imbalance on the daily. All right, so it looks like we might be going back up, but not really up. It will just be based on the retracement that I gave on, I think, Wednesday. Okay, so fingers crossed we get the close above the previous week high today, and then that will give us an idea of where price is gonna go going into next week. Okay, so let's see what will happen today. If you want to trade today, I recommend crude oil because they went for the previous day's low into the fair value gap, and we have equal highs up here, so that can be a good trade for the day. Euro also, if we close below previous week low, previous week high, then it can be a sign. Now, based on the daily time frame, the British pound, it's a best pair for a sell going into next week. Okay, we took out the previous week high and rejected, so next week we are likely gonna take our previous week low before even if we are gonna go up. So from the high time frame perspective, this is going to be the drawn liquidity going into next week, and they might dip into this before doing that. If they do it today, fine, but likely not. So this level, this up candle prior to the move down, that is the key. I don't want you to chase it today because today is Friday. Okay, so they might pull back up, reject, and then go for this low. So next week, this will be the best pair for us to be looking for a short, and then we will leave Euro alone because Euro did not have anything like that. Because of how the Euro pound is behaving, right, it's looking to go higher, hence the pound is the weaker pair. Okay, and then dollar yen will also potentially go up. It's already shown willingness, it wants to go up anyway. They are way above previous week low, so next week we'll see price come somewhere into this gap. It comes in at here 145.50 and then 145.74. okay, so these are the potential upside objectives for next week. So look out for a potential buy going into next week. Today, not probably, because like I said, today is July 4th, Independence Day for the States. So market might not really do much, especially this afternoon. Gold, I think gold is also a nice one to come down. I like the way we closed yesterday. We rejected the imbalance and closed below this, so we are gonna come back for previous day's low, maybe today, maybe Monday, but watch the New York session. I like this gap. We are still respecting it, and then they've created one here, so bring your attention to this one for a move down. Maybe today they might even attack the Asian low. this equal lows here. Okay, so move down to attack this. If we get this, sell, attack this low. Or if you want, you can actually just place the sell here with your stop above it, and then move for that, and then leave something for that. And then ultimately, I think based on the weekly time frame, we might drop down here. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this one on like that, and in case for some whatever reason they run stops before doing that, you're going to look for the same thing. So if they go up, look for a rejection, fair value gap, and then you sell to come down. Okay, all right. I did mention about crude oil. I think yesterday was an inside candle, so today was guaranteed they were gonna take our previous day's low into the fair value gap and then reject. So that is the rejection that is happening now over here. So watch this up candle. As soon as we break it, we are likely gonna go up. If it doesn't happen today, then they will do it next week. I love this gap, perfect gap, and they've dipped into it. Okay, the ES, yesterday we couldn't get any pullback into the gap to take us higher. We just screamed higher. And looking at how they've rejected everything, okay, this to me is a sign, okay, especially for them to be able to trade through this imbalance over here. All right, that is a huge sign. We are going to come here. We're going to come for this low. They might reaccumulate with 2 candles. Okay, they might reaccumulate because this is very bullish. It's tearing up. So they might reaccumulate with 2 down candles. Hence, they will be coming for this imbalance on the lower time frame. Maybe today, right? They might come here, and if they do, probably next week in here will be where they will anchor here and then send price back up again. All right, so if they can break this, then I think we might be coming a little bit lower than so if they break this one here, then we might be coming down a little bit more. We might be using this range. That's if they break that second gap, right, that New York session gap over there. But it's likely to come there based on how they've traded through this. It's likely to come here. So maybe today you're gonna be looking for a sell to attack previous day's low. Okay, that's that for the ES. Let's go over to the crypto market and see what's happening. So we came very close to attacking the 110. We came very close to attacking the 110651 level, and then price rejected. Now, based on that rejection, it has engineered equal high, so they will be coming back. Okay, So on the daily, it's going to reaccumulate inside this fair value gap and then run up. So you can start looking for a rejection inside this fair value gap. Now you can start with the 1 hour time frame. You can start with the 1 hour time frame and start looking for an immediate close. So a down candle with an immediate close, or they trade above an up candle leaving a fair value gap. Or let me put it this way, start looking for a fair value gap to form whilst price is leaving the imbalance. Until then, don't do anything. Okay, so once they've tapped into the gap, so something like this, when they tap into it and then price starts shooting away, you want it to leave a gap. Once it does that, you can buy the gap that price leaves behind. Okay, and then you can aim for that 110651 level. Ethereum, you're coming for the gap. So this is also a high probability gap because we came off from this and created that. And I think I said if they were able to close above here, then you buy this. It wasn't able to close, however, this gap still is valid. So you can look for the same thing that I've just mentioned on Bitcoin. Look for a 1 hour gap to form, or them to trade above an up candle, and then you can look for continuation to the upside. The drawn liquidity is here, 2680.22. that is the drawn liquidity. As long as this gap is opened, okay, we are going into the weekend, so I might not be live until Monday. I might not be live between now and Monday, so this is your opportunity to understand that as long as this gap is open, price is gonna go for this level. If we trade through it, then forget it. And your key to getting the confirmation that is going up is, now that they've dipped in, the lower time frame needs to start shooting or start displacement. It needs to displace something like this. You need to start leaving imbalances. When you start seeing that, then we are going to continue going up. So that's that for Ethereum. Solana, not good. So leave Solana alone because it couldn't leave any gap. So Solana is not good. Ripple, not the best. I think it's already come for previous day's low. Yeah, they've already come for previous days low. We already rejecting the fair value gap. I like the H4 candle that has just formed, this one. I like it. We probably will come here and then here. When I say here, what does that mean? 2.251, and then 2.267. We can even go for 2.279, right? This gap is rejecting, and I think the lower time frame has started. There you go, leaving FVGs. That's exactly what you want to see, right? They've dipped into a gap, and as price is moving, it's leaving gaps. That is what you want to see, and then you buy. They've traded through that imbalance over there, IFVG. So we are looking to go to that 2.251, then 2.267, and then somewhere up here. Okay, ultimately this is where we're gonna go. Okay, hype, forget hype, because we are still anticipating them to go into that weekly fair value gap. Until then, we are not interested in whatever hype is doing right now. this is the level they need to trade back to. AI16 yesterday couldn't close bullish, so we didn't have any fair value gap, which is not good, but at the same time it's still inside that range, kind of still accumulating, so I'll still be looking for a move back up again, right? We just need it to give us an imbalance, and that will give us confidence that they're gonna start going up. It's good that is consolidating, because that is basically accumulation phase. We need the expansion phase, right? And if Bitcoin starts shooting up, we will expect them to at least leave us a first imbalance. Now with time, let me say it this way, the amount of time they are spending here in the accumulation phase will kind of give an idea how the expansion is going to be. Okay, so the more time they spend here, the more aggressive the expansion is going to be, whether up or down. Okay, so if they are going to spend more time here, then expect some kind of a big move, and that big move most of the time will not come back again. Once they shoot away, price might not come back down, because they've accumulated, or it's being accumulated inside a small range. Finally, Chachki, I think Chachki said we are gonna come for this number, which is so many zeros down there. 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 zeros, and 8286 level, right? Again, pay attention to the gaps to the downside, lower prices; gaps to the upside, higher prices. Okay, so that is that for the Chachki. Let's go back quickly to this pair. I think next week we will expect them to go up, which is a sign of British pound potentially going lower. So next week we are looking for a sell on British pound. Okay, that will be our trade for the week. We'll focus on that one, and then maybe gold can also be we can expect gold to also give us a sell to continue going lower. Okay, okay, so that's all for today. Again, yesterday was quite a show, but like I said, I've learned something from it, because I didn't expect it. Had I expected it, maybe I would have done something with it, but to be honest, I wasn't expecting it. So it took me by surprise, and like I said, going forward, I'll be vigilant. I'll watch it properly, because that shouldn't have happened. I'm human, so it's all good. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you same time next week, Monday. Have a wonderful weekend.